What's up, everybody? Welcome back on in, and we will continue to be here live every Monday and Wednesday night at 8:30. So y'all keep joining us, and then we're here, see ball, get ball, Brent. Brent Rollins joins me as always, and we're here. We're getting closer. Today is picks day. We're gonna make some picks of some big games. We got Chris Fowler, and Brent. I was talking to Fowler about his schedule, and he was balancing the U.S. Open with Novak Djokovic, and then balancing talking to LSU. So he's gonna be fresh off of his conversation with LSU coaches today about the game. So it'll be great to pick his brain because he's calling that football game. But first, we'll get to the real deal. We're going to do this every week, man, and it's going to be really fun. And it's called Podium Kings. It's the sounds from the weekend, the week of, the different things that they said something. And we're like, ooh, that kind of caught my eye, and that gives me an introduction into somebody or something that's going on. So, Brent, how you doing, brother? First, you doing all right?
Good. I just, it's here. Like we've talked for. And just personally, a couple of things. One, I'm not used to doing all this talking in the off season. It's a different animal. I'm ready for actual football. I'm ready to break down actual football. It's fantastic. Two, 21 years ago, I moved to Georgia, and I went to my first Georgia football game. And do you remember who they played 21 years ago?
Marshall.
That would be Marshall. Who they
played Marshall
in the opening. You played against Marshall. I was there. I actually had to get tickets. My wife graduated from Marshall. Like I went to all their games, because it's like 40 minutes from my hometown. So like it's a sort of nostalgic feeling this week with Marshall coming to Athens again.
That's cool. No, that's cool. And then obviously Georgia's not going to be one of the games we're previewing because that spread's almost at 40. But a good number for you, Brent, with that game. Kirby Smart is 0-12 in 38-point or more spreads.
Yes.
I saw that somewhere. Because Kirby doesn't care. He's going to run the football, get the heck out of here, try to stay healthy. First, let's get the Podium Kings. We're going to listen to the voices of college football, the different players, the different coaches, and maybe even have different things along the way. And I think it'll be fun, Brent, because we can listen to them in their own words talk about specific things, and then maybe we'll break it down and actually what they mean sometimes. Like this one right here from Kirby Smart talking about one of his wide receivers this year.
Coach, everybody knows what Colby Young's situation was last year. He's now back. How has he maybe appreciated this second chance he's now getting, and how has he been so far in camp and practice?
He's been a tremendous leader throughout. He's practiced with toughness. He understands that position in that room really well. Really physical, can block. I mean, just incredibly, and has been a vertical jump ball. Really good player for us in camp. So I want him to keep doing what he's doing and continue to lead that young group of guys in that room.
I'm going to break down what that means for Kirby Smart. We got our wide receiver one. That's what that means. Like the guy that does all the dirty work, all the blocking. First of all, if you don't block, you can't play at Georgia. Like you're
no
not
block,
going
no rock.
to. Yeah, no block, no rock. You ain't getting it. And I think we saw from Colby Young a year ago, the dude's a star. I mean, he can catch the ball over top of people. He's obviously got the size, winning deep, but the leadership component is the first thing Kirby's going to hone in on is the hard work, the leadership. But I think to me, I hear wide receiver one for Georgia is Colby Young.
Shout out, by the way, my coworker at UGAsports.com, Anthony Dasher, with a great question, and us with the feed there. That's great cross promotion for me because I obviously write for UGAsports.com, but also just the toughness part of it. I think he's taught when you hear Kirby answer questions week in and week out, he's mainly talking about practice habits and toughness. So that's good to hear if you're a Georgia fan, I think, from that.
Yeah, well, those are the most important things to him. I don't know who is next. Let's make this a surprise of who is next. But I think it'll be entertaining. So take a peek.
Would you be more inclined to just go out of bounds now if you're
Nah.
Not
I'm a man.
Try to save yourself or anything.
I'm a man. Running out of bounds just like running from a fight.
I could not love this anymore. Le'Veon Moss for A&M, the running back, like. You saw him last year. He ran angry. He ran pissed off. And that reminded me of Herschel. Like when Herschel said the ball didn't get heavy. Like they asked him, you're carrying the ball 40 times. Like, can you hold up? He was like, ball doesn't get heavy. He was like, The fact that you questioned him, he literally looked at the camera and he was like, "Bro, what are we talking about here?"
And his initial response, "I'm a man." Like,
I'm a man.
that's one of those ones where you're like, "Yeah, I like that. That guy's on my team. I'm glad that he's on my team." By the way, 4.4 yards per attempt after contact for Moss a year ago, one of the best in the country. So,
with a big physical offensive line, you're going to hear a lot about him. He stays healthy in that run game for A&M. Could be a big time. It could be the biggest thing for them to take them over the hump. If they got that, they've got some balance with the passing game with a mobile QB. It could be good. So next we got Georgia alum coach Fran Brown.
For me, it was better to have my son. Not saying that he can't be on scholarship because he easily could be on scholarship, but it's easy for me to pay and then get another kid, right?
He was at Georgia for a long time, so got to know him for many a years. He ain't never minced words in his life, and he doesn't. Last year in the beginning of the season, remember, he was the one who almost sent Ryan Day a bottle of champagne because Kyle McCord ends up breaking all the records in the ACC and throwing for 4,800 yards. But he's like, my son, like, I got money. Forget that crap. Like, I'm going to go ahead and put him – I'm gonna pay his way, and I got another scholarship, Brent.
Yeah. He's as real as it gets, always. And
Always.
I think I saw another one where he was talking about, hey, it's going to be orange. It's going to be a lot of orange because somebody's saying how it's going to be major Tennessee crowd. But he's like, orange is orange.
Yeah, orange is orange. And speaking of orange, burnt orange, the next guy on the list, Arch Manning.
Are you mentally prepared to have that huge X on your back all season long for everybody is going to be coming for you?
I mean, I think that's all of us at Texas, and I think we kind of try to shift the narrative. We're going for everyone else. Target's not on our back. We got the red dot on everyone else.
I love that from my QB. I love that he'll say, no, forget that. Like, it's kind of like some of the coaches have said in the past, man. Like, we're not the hunted, we're the hunter, and being the aggressor. So you probably loved hearing that from Arch.
Oh yeah, and it's one where has he anticipated that question for a while and like, hey, I'm going to go with this response. Or is it like when you think like Captain America in the Winter Soldier movie when, you know, the Falcon guy's like, hey, did you just think that off the top of your head or did you rehearse that? Like, I think it feels like he may have rehearsed that a little bit, but it was really good in the moment. That's one I would never come up with something that good in the moment. That's for sure.
No, I like that. And I like, dude, I got news for you. Like when you're a QB, man, you've got to have a level of swag about you. Like you've got to have that comment. Bryce Underwood made comments recently that he's like, you ain't never seen a freshman like me. And I saw people going nuts and like I can't believe you'd say that. Like you want that from your QB. I mean, you don't want to cross the line into arrogant as crap and not being able to take coaching. But like to be that good, you have to be an elite. You have to have an elite mindset, and you have to realize you have to kind of think you're bulletproof. And I did, Brent. When I played, I'll never forget. I'm going against Jonathan Ogden, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I went and I'd rush the passer, and I'd be like, man, I missed with my hands. Like he didn't get me. I missed. It was I messed up, not he was really good. And so there's a fine line. Now listen, everybody in my life will tell you, and I'll tell you, I was a cocky butthole, and you probably didn't want to be around me much, but I digress. Let's get into some picks, man, because obviously.
Do we think Moss is the king? Le'Veon Moss is the king there. I think Le'Veon Moss is the winner of the week with the I'm a man. I ain't going to.
I can get down with that.
He's the king. He's the king.
I like that. I can get down with that. So next we'll get to some picks. All right, let's get to them, Brent. This is the time of the year. All the talking and all the studying now. This is what we've done it for, Brent. So. Let's now get to this and figure out the games. And did you struggle with this? Did you overthink this? And how many weather reports did you look up this week?
0, because the weather's beautiful across the country.
Okay, all right, sweet.
So I will say Boise going. I did look at the weather in Boise, Idaho, right now compared to what it is in Florida. Very similar. So outside of that, no, I didn't look any other weather. But what's amazing about this week is all these games that I looked at. Is the number of double-digit spreads very few. Like you got Bama that's a double-digit favorite over FSU. You got Tennessee that's a double-digit favorite over Syracuse. The rest of these games are all basically within a score. And, you know, it's one of those where it's just so many great games. So when we talked about this Monday, it's a phenomenal week one. It's probably the best week one that we've ever had, like 3 top 10 matchups. I think we're going to do probably in another we're gonna hit that in another video with the 3 top 10 matchups.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to focus on those, but these are the rest.
The rest of the games that we'll all be watching. And I do like that it's spread out over, so many nights this weekend. Like that's what's really, really fun, that you'll start getting football. You'll get football every day of an extended weekend. That's winning. That's winning at a high level.
5 great days in a row of football.
Great days in a row. All right, first one I got on my list. Georgia Tech and Colorado. Was this a tough one for you to pick, or did you know what you wanted right away?
I think in terms of pick, no, it wasn't tough to pick. But by the way, this one's Friday night, 8:00. So this will be a double screen, I think, with them and Auburn-Baylor. But at Colorado, Caden Salter is going to start at QB for Colorado. I trust what Georgia Tech has offensively right now more than I trust anything. And with Haynes King returning, and by the way, Haynes King tied for the best in terms of percentage of fewest turnover-worthy plays in the entire FBS a year ago. So just takes care of the football pretty consistently. If he keeps doing that, their offense is going to be really good. Yeah, Eric Rivers, the transfer from FIU, very excited to see him in that sort of potential singleton role, getting a lot of touches. So
I think I'm going to let you take the games from now on out because we need to go in order. That would be a better way to do it. But I think it's interesting, with Georgia Tech, I feel like we know who they are and we know what they are, and so that makes it, especially offensively, like that. Yes. They've been so consistent with Buster Faulkner for the last couple years. You kind of know exactly what they're going to be, who they're going to be. Haynes King, the leadership. Like I expect that. Now I don't expect a lot from their defense, and that will be the big question to me. Everybody's new, and their pass rush wasn't great a year ago, and in the secondary, the passing D wasn't elite. So that would be interesting to watch. But I'm just as equally as interested to watch Colorado because I just don't know anything about them. Now, Caden Salter, he played for Liberty, and he's got great stats and played well. But here's the thing. He ran the football really well, and that's what he does good. Shedeur Sanders, it was 70% pass. Like, it was 7 out of 10 plays. Like, the run was the change up, and he scrambled around more than anything. They have all 4 of their top receivers gone, their top 2 running backs gone. I think the offensive line could be a little bit better, but just very interested to see Colorado and their identity now without Shedeur and what that looks like. Because the defense they were 11 points better a year ago, by the way.
Yes,
they were way improved.
And some of the secondaries back still, even though Hunter left.
So I'm very, very interested. I'm just as equally as interested, but I'm taking Tech too because of the known. But did you hear about Ralphie, by the way, the Colorado mascot? Did you hear about what happened with him? Oh, so Ralphie is basically retiring and not running.
Like the big anymore. Live thing, right? The living animal, right? Yes. Whole deal.
It's a huge buffalo. It's crazy
exactly,
big buffalo.
They're the buffaloes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's funny that you talked about that with the identity change or the identity of that. That's
that they might
literally
be
the note I wrote down for Colorado for the whole thing. Identity change ? So.
Well, and we'll see what they are. But how about Ralphie's not running anymore? But this was the funniest thing that I've read because I love this. Because they have an indifference to running. That's why it's getting retired. Guess what? Count me on the list. I have an indifference to running too. Who the heck likes running? I don't want to run. Like,
worst thing. Good
for you for Ralph. It was Ralphie 6. It has an indifference to running. I do too. Actually, mine's more of a hatred. But that is, Brent, the most exciting thing that you'll ever watch in a college football game is probably that. Like watching them run live beside him. It's really, really cool. It being at home, I think is going to be a close game, but I'm taking the Yellow Jackets. All right, where we go next?
As well. So tomorrow it actually kicks off. By the way, they got 2 games. So quick thing, Boise at USF. Do you think in any way, by the way, that's a less than a touchdown point spread. Do you think in any way Boise is in danger going to South Florida all the way across the country into the heat at 5:30, by the way? 5:30 start.
I think that's the reason why you have that is because of that, because of the heat. I don't think they're playing bums. I think they're playing a team that knows exactly who they are. They can run the football. Their QB can run the football. The system is good. And Ashton Genty's not there. And here's another thing too to put that I kind of got in the back of my mind now. I watch Ashton Genty in the NFL, and I'm like, my gosh, okay, was it just Genty? Now it's putting that in my head too of watching him and be so great in the NFL. I'm like, okay, he can do that at the Raiders. I know he carried his team at Boise. So, like, does that have a little bit of concern? Mad Dog at quarterback, really good player, experienced offensive line. I'll take the pedigree of Boise, but I think that game is going to be an absolutely good game. Yes,
very much so. And I think it's a must-win for them because
yes,
they still got to go to Notre Dame, and it's not about just winning the Mountain West. You got to win your conference and be the highest ranked. So you don't want to, like the American and things like that, you don't be lower ranked. So that's one. But anyway, then nighttime, Thursday night, Nebraska-Cincinnati, and you've got just the comedy of this, by the way, is still makes me smile and chuckle a little bit. You've got Dylan Raiola and him looking and acting very Mahomes-esque, going to play at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City.
That's interesting. Your mind went there because my mind went Travis Kelce played for Cincinnati, and he's there, and Cincinnati's playing in Arrowhead. So I'll never forget. I was calling a Thursday night game, and I was sitting down with Dave Johnson, the tight end coach of Cincinnati, and Travis Kelce. I sat down with both of them and was talking to him, and he was like, and Dave Johnson, he coached at Georgia while I was there, he was like, this dude's going to be a stud. He was like, when he gets to the league, he's going to go like this, like big, strong, like really gets it tough. He was right. He was definitely right because I looked at him on the roster. I was like, he's all right. He wasn't that great.
He's kind of winning in life too a little bit, by the way. Did you notice that did you happen to notice who doesn't pay attention to a lot of social media things? Did you happen to notice that they got engaged?
Who? Oh,
no,
Taylor Swift. Absolutely not. I didn't know that. And I could care less. But I'm sure now the NFL producers at all the networks are super excited because last year we saw her 467,000 times. I think they had a tracker up, didn't they?
Yes.
Anyway,
it's going to be a game. That doesn't shock me that you didn't see that, by the way.
I did not see it. I follow, like, my whole algorithm. It's funny to follow my algorithm. It's like it's everything faith. It's now it's college pressers because of Podium Kings. I swear to goodness. And then fantasy football and college football are pretty much it. But here's what I'll say about this: Nebraska getting off to the right start. Like, they have a really good schedule this season. They are set up to have success.
Wins.
Yes, and take the next step in the program. In order to do that, you beat teams like Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati, they make you earn it. Like they play very conservative defensively, and and they're going to run the football and they're going to eat clock. Like maybe that's the way they hang in this football game. But Nebraska and Dylan Raiola, Dane Key, Isaiah Hunter, like those new weapons, like they have new weapons they're breaking in, but I think they're better than they were. So I think they can take a next step. I got Nebraska.
Yeah, I do. I have Nebraska as well, and I'm really intrigued to see Williams in Wannery, the kid who was a 5-star top 10 recruit that was at Missouri a year ago, only played 38 snaps, kind of hopped in the portal. I don't know if he felt at home at Missouri, and his high school coach is now on staff at Nebraska. So his high school coach is there. A lot of positive vibes reading about that. And this is a must win for them. They want to be 3-0 hosting Michigan to, like you said, to take that sort of next step. Holgerson, great comment recently about, hey, we're going to run the dang ball.
But the way he phrased it was even better because he was like, I got kicked out of the air raid club because I run the football. Air raid, that Mike Leach system that just throw. Dana's like, no. Like, that's not what I want to do. So I love that.
This feels like Nebraska by 7-10 for me. Ish, 30 to 20.
Lower to mid scoring, but Nebraska, Cincinnati and Sorby, I just don't know with all the receivers that they're replacing, they can go tick for tack and score a bunch of points.
Yep. So Friday night, we already talked about Tech and Colorado. We got another, to me, it's a ginormous game. Auburn, as much, even though they're not ranked, like Auburn at Baylor, 2.5 point spread. Friday night, Waco, all the things with it. I am massively looking forward to watching this game.
I am too. Here's to me what I'm most looking forward to about Auburn. This is here's what Auburn fans are right now. I'm going to give you a good analogy, Brent. Auburn fans are like this right now. And they're doing that. I just look my head side to side. They're doing that because they're trying to figure out who they are. Like, this might be the most important season they've had in a long time because they're going, we're Auburn. Like, we belong in the Georgia, Bama, LSU conversation, the upper echelon in the SEC, the Texases. But the 1 year on the blip is like, okay, that's a bad year. 2 years, okay. They're going on 5 years. Like, they're trying to figure out, are they a 7 Or are they a 2 or a 3? Like, they're trying to figure out where they register. They know they're not a 10 anymore. Like, they're 100% sure of that. But this game has to start it for Auburn. And Auburn has so many good things about them, man. The best 1-2 punch at wide receiver in the country. A top 10 offensive line in the country. Like, a bunch of guys with a bunch of experience at the right spots. It's all about the quarterback. Like, it's all about Jackson Arnold. Like, is he good? If he's just good, this team can be a great team this year. And they can go to the college football playoff if he's great. Like, that's what the supporting cast and everybody looks like. And it's just Auburn's like, what am I? Like, please, like, I want to be there. I don't want to be down here.
And when you have Cam Coleman and when you get Singleton in the transfer portal and you get a new quarterback, what's a good way to sort of open your season facing the team that was one of the worst pass defenses in the country a season ago? And that, by the way, I've heard of Dave Aranda talking in various clips about we're still working on this, still trying to get there, still like he's maybe by the way, he's just playing the game and not very confident in his secondary, but yeah, maybe he's just telling the truth. And they've already got the Pendergrass at running back that's out with injury. So the 1-2 punch is there. Turner that they brought in from Northwestern transfer portal is gone with the knee.
But we saw Sawyer Robertson take off last year towards the end of the season. And so if that run game with him, like if that continues to pick up and go like this and they keep working and their defense takes some small steps forward, this is a team that's still dangerous. But either way, if they lose – they're still going to be in the mix. They can still go make the college football playoff. Auburn can't, man. Like they've got to get this. I think Auburn gets it done. I was leaning Baylor earlier. I think Auburn and the pressure defensively that they can apply, getting to the quarterback, they can play more aggressive. I think they can match up out wide better. And they've been practicing against Coleman and Singleton Jr. Like they're like, all right, bring on anybody. I'll play man coverage on anybody. Yep. So I'm actually going Auburn, but I do think this is a close game, and the spread shows you that. Like it's 2.5, and they're the home team for Baylor.
Yeah, I went Auburn 34-30. Like I think this is a fireworks kind of game, at least initially, and maybe even late with them with Baylor kind of coming back. But that's Friday. So now we've got Thursday, we've got Friday. Now into Saturday. Obviously, the big game is noon with Texas and Ohio State, and we're going to look at those in the 3 top 10 matchups in a different video. But we got Syracuse and Tennessee too at noon in Atlanta, by the way, right? And, whatever.
A lot of neutral sites game, man.
West of us.
A lot of those neutral site games. I don't love those as much, but so I think Syracuse is probably one of the most unpredictable teams probably in the country because they're replacing so much. I mean, golly, and especially here's what Syracuse season boils down to me, Brent. Can they catch lightning in the bottle again? Because Kyle McCord did not look like he was that good when he was at Ohio State, and then he comes over and throws for 4,800 yards, an ACC record, and was unbelievable. Now their top 3 wide receivers are gone, running back's gone, and now Steve Angeli's turn from Notre Dame. We saw him in the Penn State game, right? Like we saw him have some success in the college football playoff, but obviously he's not a seasoned guy by any stretch. We don't really know what we're going to get with him, but McCord had that one season. Angeli doesn't. And then playing against the Tennessee defense that I think is going to be really, really good. I think it's the strength of their team this year. So how quickly can Syracuse get that side of the ball rolling? That's a big question because let's be honest, their defense wasn't any good a year ago, and they lost some guys. So to me, Syracuse is all about that QB spot. If it hits and they can score and they can go tick for tack, they got a chance to stay in games. Tennessee's defense is the reason I'll take Tennessee in a neutral site.
Yeah, I think the 2 touchdown spread here is very warranted. But the thing that I've talked about all offseason, does Tennessee have some addition by subtraction at the quarterback position? And not so much of Nico and a talent issue, but more so fit within Heupel's system, ability to hit deep ball, things like that. And you look at Joey Aguilar and went back over the last 2 years. In terms of big-time throws, which are PFF, Pro Football Focus, who I also work for, their highest-graded throws, he has 50, which is 4th most in the FBS. But turnover-worthy plays, he has 51, which is the most in the FBS. But here's the thing with Heupel's offense that I'm intrigued to see with Aguilar. It's by nature risk-averse, where you're looking to one side of the field.
He takes care of the quarterbacks.
don't make the throw, go run forward
Tempo
for 3
makes
yards.
it define looks, like makes the
Yes,
defense
all
play
the
very
things-
conservative.
It's kind of by nature designed to limit turnovers in a way. And
Yeah.
you do that and you get some big time throws in addition to the defensive stuff that you talked about. Yeah, they were, and by the way, they were third in the FBS in terms of EPA per play and efficiency on defense last year. So good stuff from Tennessee's
But
defense.
the
A lot of
problem
guys coming
with
back.
Tennessee's offense, that the only thing I hear what you're saying and be risk averse and stuff, but another thing they've been able to do is run the football. Like Sampson was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. He gone. Top 3 wide receivers are gone. 4 of the 5 offensive linemen. So like a lot to replace along with Aguilar. Like Aguilar didn't go through spring, and I'm breaking in a ton of stuff that I don't necessarily know. But you know what I do know, Brent, and what I've seen is the defensive front 7 is nasty. And Joshua Joseph's a baller. Like a baller who can get to the quarterback, who can play the run, who's a guy that can wreck Syracuse offensive line. Like absolutely.
Which, by the way, I
wreck.
think has 4 out of 5 starters.
Transfers.
They're all transfers.
And that's the way college
not
football is, obviously more and more. But to me, they'll hit a few of those deep plays. You're right, though. The Tennessee offense is going to be fun to watch this year. And how do they reshape, retool? But one thing you got to do is you got to say, okay, I'm trusting Heupel because he does it. Like you can say whatever you want to say about him. He finds a way to get it done. And so I'll take Tennessee as well.
Hot take, I think, for me, though, by the way, in terms of long-term for Nico, I think he did the best thing for himself long-term.
We'll see.
Just as an aside. All right, next up, Bama at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee playing the Seminoles, which, by the way, I think I had read or saw, or I don't know where I saw this, but I think somebody said that it came out as Doak Walker, maybe in the college football game.
Yeah.
From your voice. Has people said that to you?
Yeah.
That was a thing. But anyway, so Castellanos and being very brash about this game specifically. Like
I like that.
And he reminds me of kind of very Diego Pavia-esque. The
swag.
Size, the swag, the confidence, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to give you a little number, by the way. In terms of clean pocket passing grade, top returning quarterbacks in the country. Number 1, Diego Pavia. Number 2, Thomas Castellanos at
How about
Florida
that?
State. So,
well,
maybe he's got a little something to that swag. Maybe there's something to back it up in this game. Maybe not, but we'll see.
And that's an awesome stat, and that's great. But he's the bigger thing for me is to watch this is to watch him as a playmaker. Because if you watch the last memories I have of Alabama a year ago was watching Jackson Arnold run at nauseum against them and have no answer. I remember the first game of the season against USF, they got ran on like crazy. And then Vanderbilt beat them by running on them. The running quarterback's been an issue for Bama. Like even Lenore Sellers played really, really well. Like I'm interested to see because this dude, you could play touch football in an elevator and lose to Tommy. Like this dude can skirt. I mean, he is quick. He is fast. Like he can make you miss. But yeah, his comments, they don't have Nick Saban to save them. I just don't see how they're going to stop me. Oh man. I don't love that for him. There'll be some physicality dealt out. Hopefully he can remain in the game. But the last thing too for me for watching Florida State this year is you got Gus Malzahn as an OC now. He's got plenty of experience against Alabama. He knows how to run his QB. There's not a better probably fit in the country. You want to go to a place where a guy knows how to use you, and Gus Malzahn knows how to use him. But I'm interested more so, Brent, because there's a lot of Bama love. A lot of Bama love, like in the country, across the nation. And I'm interested to see how good they are at the quarterback spot and on offense, and if they find an identity. Because I still see holes with this roster and things they need to improve on. But I think they're good enough to beat Florida State coming off that good two-win season last year. Golly, I know they wanted to forget that, but a good performance will hopefully maybe help out. But
for Alabama, it's just one thing. It's all eyes are on the quarterback. Yeah. And by the way, it's the number of games that you can write that as a note this weekend, all eyes on the quarterback. Just phenomenal and fascinating to me. And Florida State, one other thing for them, I think I've heard a lot or read a lot. The true freshman running back, is he going to play a little bit? The Osamane Croma kid that's from Georgia, that's in Tallahassee. I'm curious to see if he gets a little time. But hey, That like we just hit like 6 games, maybe more. I can't even count that high. And we didn't even get to the biggest 3.
No.
The way this weekend's like we said, 5 straight days of just phenomenal football. I'm glued. I'm going to be glued. I'm going to have to like do like you on the golf course and like where you do your push-ups in between the holes. I'm going to have to like commercial breaks, do some push-ups or something, because otherwise I'm going to be living on the couch.
Dude, I do that all the time because of when I'm watching TV, because I feel so fat just sitting there watching, just literally eating and watching games. I'm like, all right, I got to do something productive. So push-ups and sit-ups. I mean, just got to do something to keep yourself entertained. But you're right, that's that. And then we'll talk to Fowler next, though. And the good thing about talking to him is he's got the Colorado Buffalo connection too. Went to Colorado, yes. Colorado fan. But obviously he's calling the LSU game, which will be a barn burner. And we'll get to some of the big games and some of his preseason thoughts right here next on C-Ball Get Ball. All right, so now joining us live, Chris Fowler. He looks like he's in the bunker straight from the U.S. Open, calling Djokovic's match or some kind of big match. Chris, we've joked about it for years, man, how much you just love tennis and calling it. Obviously, you do such a great job. But what about the week of football season, though? Like, is it the same adrenaline to get kicked off this week?
Oh, yeah. I just got off the Zoom with the LSU coaches. We got LSU, Clemson. I mean, it's totally juggling. You guys know. I mean, I'm doing day and night matches. Then I got the football chart here. Every time I get a free minute, it's back to this bus and dive into the analytics and watch some tape from last year and get ready. I mean, these are my 2 favorite sports, David. So when they converge like this and we get an opening weekend like I've not seen in a long time in this sport, I'm pumped up. Sleep is for October, I guess.
Dang right. Well, I talked about you yesterday when I was talking about you coming on, and I said you're the fittest play-by-play guy in the business and the strongest. So can we confirm? Can we still put 315 on that bar and make it look like it's dental floss?
Well, I did deadlift 420 in the hex bar the other day. Benching, I bet my shoulders messed up and fixed with stem cells, but it's still a work in progress. I don't do the bro lifting benching. That's probably what got me hurt in the first place. Dude, I mean, you train smart. You train with intention. That's what you got to do when you're a senior citizen like me, man. It's less about the numbers than it's just about, trying to keep mobile, don't decline, maintain what I got. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
420 deadlift. I mean, oh, my goodness gracious.
I shouldn't have done it because I hadn't deadlifted in a month or 2. And I was like, this isn't very prudent, but I feel good. And it's my birthday weekend. I'm going to go for it. And I survived, wasn't sore, didn't hurt myself. So,
Winning.
So was it very, very political, I guess, with the conversation with the LSU coaches? Or you feel like, hey, I got some good intel there?
They're pumped up. They're optimistic about fixing the defense. I think they believe they'll run the ball better this year. I think the pieces are now in place. They spent a lot of money. As you know, Kelly's been pretty open about what they spent on their roster. And the portal additions, maybe not the giant splash names, but they got dudes who played a lot of football. I think they feel like they got a lot better O-line, D-line, David. As you know, that's what it's about in the SEC. So I think they feel like they've addressed some weaknesses and that they're well set up with Nussmeier in his 11th year, whatever it is, 5th year actually. But yeah, I think Harold Perkins is healthy and playing a new position that they think suits him well. So they really love their team. I think Clemson's favored for a reason, but I got to be honest with you. We had done their calls last week. LSU today, I feel like the Bayou Bengal Tigers have a better chance of going in there and winning than I thought like 2 hours ago.
Okay, and it's interesting when you look at this matchup and you look at the trenches. A lot of new then, like a lot of new on the offensive line for LSU, and especially the tackle spots, going against a really good defensive line. And Chris, you're going to be there, and you've been there a million times. That atmosphere is stupid and so good and so loud. So you think that part of the game they can hold up, and then the other side too. What are your thoughts on Clemson this year? Anyways, there's a lot of people. Van Pelt was on last week, and he was like, he's high on Clemson like I am. I'm high on Clemson. They're my national championship pick. So I guess just coming into the season, some of the thoughts, broad spectrum on Clemson as well.
Yeah, really high on Clemson. I mean, I think you've got Klubnik, who's had a terrific year last year, worked hard. They got to get a little bit better in the red zone. kick fewer red zone field goals to beat the good teams. We all know they went 0-3 against the SEC. Excuse me, the Dogs took them to the shed early, and Texas ran right through them late. And South Carolina was a heartbreaker. So, Dabo gets all fired up about facing the SEC. He hates that narrative that they didn't beat him last year. And now you get a high-level SEC team coming to your ballpark. I think it's a great way to start the season. I don't think Clemson needs to win the game. As you know, once they get into the ACC, to me, they're a solid favorite in all their games. They don't play Miami in the regular season. I love their chances. I think they have a lot of pieces in place. I think they feel like they've gotten much better on defense themselves with Tom Allen coming down from Penn State. As you know, tackling was an issue last year. They're going to have to tackle in space against LSU's playmakers. They feel like they can do that. And with TJ Parker and Peter Woods, you got guys who are on the top of the draft board, respectively, at DN and interior defensive linemen. So they are good in the middle. Offensive line has never been, I don't think, elite strength of Clemson. Good enough.
Nope.
And they work around it. Can they work around it in this game? It's going to be a good challenge against LSU, because I think Blake Baker, the coordinator, really believes that LSU now has the weaponry, now has the pieces to play the way he wants to play. Aggressive, challenge him, play man. They played so much cover 2 last year at LSU. Didn't look like LSU at all. They just weren't thin enough. They weren't good enough up front. Now that they think they are, I can't wait for this matchup. I think it's a great quarterback matchup, because Nussmeier and Klubnik, I think, are two of the better guys on those draft boards and in college football, along with Arch. So it's going to be fun.
You mentioned the opening weekend. Do you remember any opening weekend like this in all these times you've called games or done game day all those years?
I don't think so, man. I think if you look at 3 top 10 games, it doesn't even include Alabama, Florida State. Doesn't include Belichick's debut on Monday night. It doesn't include Coach Prime against the Ramblin' Wreck on Friday night, which I will be watching. I think it's got depth. It's got, I think, those 3 top 10 matchups. I mean, Dave, you might disagree, but you can make a really good case. All 6 teams are going to be in the playoff field. And so that's really, really cool to have 3 games like that the first weekend.
Yeah, I think the playoffs, literally, you get a glimpse of the playoff week 1. I mean, how cool is that? Like, you're seeing 3 playoff matchups, and we haven't seen that. All right, I got to get to this too, man. Spending so many years on game day. Coach Corso, last show, all the memories. Is there anything that sticks out story-wise or memory-wise? Just all the years, all the fun, all the time with Coach.
I mean, from the very first show that I did as a fill-in emergency host in 1989, man, he was a powerful presence. He was like a coach. He had a true freshman quarterback thrown into the fire, never done that before. I mean, game day wasn't that big a deal, frankly. In 1989, it was in the studio. It was like an hour long. Nobody really watched it, but I had never done it. And I had people around me that had like that questioning look in their eye, like, I don't know about this kid. I looked about 11 when I did that. And Corso was such a calm guy. He did, David, what he did his whole life as a coach. He made you want to believe in yourself. He made you want to improve and be better. And he showed confidence in you. And that's what he did from the start. And all the times, as you know, man, it's special bonding away from the set, obviously, as a showman, as an entertainer, as a guy who's passionate about the game and those who played it and coached it. He's first and foremost always a coach to me. But people see the clown, they see the headgear, they think that's the sum total of the man. And as you know, it's a lot more than that. The presence that I'm sure, things he taught you, things he taught me, Kirk, Desmond, everybody that he had contact with, he was just a wise, experienced voice and resource when you needed that in your life, man. And that's what I think about, too, is that we had some fun meals. We had so many laughs. I still see him down in Florida in the off season. I'm still going to see him after he retires. So it's those moments away from the set, besides when he's playing with Katy Perry and Will Ferrell and Bill Murray and all those, dancing with Vince Vaughn in a leprechaun outfit. I mean, those are what viewers are going to remember from him. And me too, but there's a lot more to him when you hang around him away from the set. Chris,
I'll never forget Chris Fowler joining us here, See-Ball, Get Ball. He looked at me one time and I didn't feel like I belonged on the set. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like you just said, like when your first time there,
Sure.
You're there, you're on the set and you're trying to prove yourself. And I just remember I watched so much tape and was trying to make sure that I knew football inside and out. And he looked at me and he grabbed that number 2 pencil and he was like, hey, football guy. Hey, football guy. I was like, what? Coach, he goes, it's entertainment, sweetheart. It's entertainment. And I was like, all right, Coach, I got you. Like, all right, I'll relax. I'll
No,
have some
but you know,
fun.
he also respected that you knew ball. I mean, listen, it is entertainment. But notice something, David, that when he said, you know, we're in the entertainment business, football is the vehicle. He said that, and he believes it. But he stayed in the football lane. He wasn't out trying to host game shows. He wasn't doing comedy shows. He was entertaining in the arena of college football because he loved the game so much. And that's what it was about for him, too. So, yeah, he made fun of you. He made fun of Herb Street. Whenever Kirk would break down a game and the focus would be like that center guard combo block. And he would like, yo, serious football, sweetheart, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I've done a lot of reading about some of the stories, and one that caught my eye, I think that that's probably worth you sharing. Something about a McDonald's drive-through.
Close. Yeah, it was. We were in a parking lot at Sun Devil Stadium, and it was the Chick-fil-A Bowl halftime show. We were doing it from the West Coast because that's the Fiesta Bowl was the big game that year, and they're playing a game in Atlanta, and one team was winning big. I don't remember who it was. And Corso had the idea that the whole halftime speech was going to be go get some Chick-fil-A sandwiches and get into the team at halftime. And they're going to turn this game around. Obviously, a play on the sponsor. And so they had to try to find a Chick-fil-A in Arizona to get him a sandwich so we could use as a prop. We couldn't find a Chick-fil-A. They found a McDonald's, and they didn't tell them. They just got a McDonald's chicken sandwich. They bring it, and these guys are having it on a plate in a golf cart, and they're racing from the office through the parking lot trying to get to the set. And they're just barely going to make it at halftime so he can use this sandwich and bite into it and do his thing. The sandwich goes flying when the golf cart takes a hard left turn. The sandwich goes flying. It disassembles in the parking lot. Okay? Bun, chicken, it's all over the place. They're like putting it back together, scraping some gravel off of it, making a sandwich. The guy didn't find this out till later. He never knew this. He never knew this at all. Put the damn thing back together. He goes and takes a bite out of a sandwich that had been seconds before in a parking lot and never knows anything about it. So just when he was involved, you know, just crazy stuff could always happen. You know, everybody knows about the F-bomb story in Houston. I mean, it just goes on and on. And I think that's what, frankly, is going to be a little bit emotional, guys, when you see him at Ohio State, back where it all began. The very first headgear pick was Brutus Buckeye. And they had to convince Ohio State to give up that headgear because Brutus was pretty sacred, that idiotic looking nut thing that he's got in his head. But that meant a lot to them, and they weren't going to give the headgear up to him. And Kirk's wife Allison, who'd been a cheerleader at Ohio State, convinced them. I had to ask multiple times. They finally gave in. That was the first headgear. Now he's back at Ohio State, kind of coming full circle. And I think it's going to hit a lot of people. I've heard from a bunch of viewers who are going to celebrate him, but also, man, it's going to get him right here because they're going to realize that they won't see that again because it can't be duplicated. And there's ever going to be anybody like him on sports television again. So
I was going to ask you both. Do you think the headgear, sort of putting on the headgear, begins and ends with the Ohio State game and with Coach Corso?
I don't know. Do you dare try that with somebody else? I mean, McAfee would do anything, but I don't know that really should be continued after LC. What do you think, David? Should put it to retire it because out of respect or what?
I would. I would, because there's just never, it doesn't matter the personality. It's just never going to be another one. And he's the one who made that show so big. And one thing too, Chris, like he never ever said no to anything. Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Commercials, he's like, you want me to get naked in the pool? I'll get naked in the pool. Like, he didn't care. Like, he never took himself too serious. I think it was one of his greatest qualities among the many great ones that he had. But yeah, I think it should go away, but that's just mine.
You're right. I'm glad you brought up the commercials. I mean, that's what yes, within the confines of game day, he was crazy. But the commercials we shot in the summer, he would put on a karate gi and be like a Zen master. He would put on disco platform shoes and come out of a foam room where he would literally say yes to anything. He would take
anything.
It would take a temperature with a rectal thermometer of Ralphie. I mean, he spent a day behind a buffalo's ass to shoot a promo. I mean, he literally would say yes to anything, and he would commit to it. He would commit to
100% in. Hey, Chris. All right, the great Chris Fowler joins us. Anything else, man? Just about this weekend. I don't know if you saw it, but Ralphie hung it up. Ralphie hung it up because he's not real interested in running anymore. Which, by the way, I support that. They shouldn't. I don't want to run either. But what else about this weekend, man? The last thing, and we'll get you out.
I got time. I'm good here. That disappointed me. I mean, you got a big home game on Friday, and Ralphie's always a female buffalo. I don't know if people know that because the males are too rambunctious. They can't control them. They're a lot bigger and stronger, and they can't really make sure they go where they want them to go. And I know she got disinterested in running, and now they can't get the Ralphie 7 trained up in time. So it's disappointing. That's the one downer of the weekend. And we'll see if the Buffs defense can hold up and beat the Jackets. It's a challenge. I just think there's so many great plot lines. I mean, look, we haven't even mentioned the game that follows game day in Columbus. I mean, you guys have probably heard about this quarterback that they got coming in at Texas, but I mean, it's Arch all the time. Every show on ESPN is obsessed with him. Like he's the only guy in the sport. But I do think Julian Sand, going against the Texas defense and his first real football at all, is a very intriguing piece of this too. Both teams are going to make the playoff. It's not an elimination game, and it shouldn't be in August. But I can't wait to see it. We're going to hang around a little bit and see the beginning of that game and see how Manning does handle being on the road in that environment, and see how Julian Sand tries to be a rookie starter beating a number one team, which I don't think has been done before. So that game just kind of tees us up on Saturday. Really interested to see how Bama plays against FSU, and then we'll watch that one as we get ready for the night game, and obviously have a whole bunch of fun in Clemson. And then Notre Dame Miami is a hell of a game on Sunday. I wish I could do that game, but I got to get back and do the U.S. Open on Sunday. But that's really compelling too.
All right, you only get one pick real quick. Who's going to win the U.S. Open? Then we'll get you out of here.
I think center is the easy pick to make. I mean, Djokovic is struggling right now. He's lost the first set. He finally at 38. You follow the sport and love it too, David. Father Time's undefeated, bro, and it doesn't matter how well you take care of yourself and how much recovery you do. I mean, dude, he's 38, and these guys are 23, and now Sinner's 24 barely, and he's having his hands full with a young American guy right now after looking low energy in the opening match. We all like Novak to make a deep run and kind of give it one last go. But I don't think those two young guys, I mean, they're in a class by themselves right now, Sinner and Alcaraz, and I'd be surprised if it wasn't them. The field, everybody else at the start of the tournament was like plus 350 to win it. So those two guys are in good shape, and men's tennis is in good hands.
Chris, we're in good hands because we get to hear you Saturday night. We're excited about it, man, kicking off the season. Look forward to, Brian Kelly said Death Valley Junior, so we look forward to your call in Death Valley Junior.
It's not junior anything, man. I can't wait to be it's so cool when you can open the season on a campus. We've had some really good matchups in pro stadiums to start the season off, but you go to that environment, and that's what it's about. I can't wait to see. It's going to come through the screen. I think the energy in that place on Saturday night. Can't wait. I'll see you guys soon, I hope, and we're going to be down in that part of the world for most of the year, so I hope we can see you a few times.
See you, brother. Thank you.
Okay.